the eGREEKwine, a series of videos regarding the Greek vineyard brought to you by the Greek Wine Federation. Some will say that Macedonia is the Tuscany of Greece because all the major trends in wine production, I would say most of them, start from here. And if Tuscany can be related to Macedonia, then Thessaloniki is the Florence. Thessaloniki is what most Greeks consider being the most erotic city of the whole country, and you have to visit it. Around the area of Thessaloniki, we have three designated PGIs. We have Nea Mesimbria, we have the slope of Mountain Vertiskos, and possibly the most famous of all, Epanomi. A very peculiar mix of grape varieties thrive in the area. Can be local, like a specific clone of Rhoditis, can be national, like Malagousia or Assyrtiko, can be international, like Syrah. Most of these wines are relatively opulent and full-flavored. There is no complete overview, or soon be one, of Thessaloniki wine production without a mention to Retsina. Okay, it's not a joke. Have this as your take-home message. I presume you're back at home, but Retsina can be great wine. It's a traditional product and it's simply one of the most sublime food-friendly wines out there. We will cover Retsina when we talk about Attica, so the general area around Athens, so stay tuned for the rest of the episodes of this series. While we're talking about Thessaloniki, you should know that there is no single person living in Thessaloniki that is not claiming that there is no other place like Halkidiki. So we're moving closer to the sea to Halkidiki, quite a tongue twister. It looks like three fingers, three peninsulas gazing towards the Aegean Sea. In Halkidiki, we have long beaches, amazing resorts, but wherever you are, there is not a single place that a vineyard is not far away. Long history, people claim that even Aristotle planted a vineyard like several millennia ago, okay? So that long a history. In Halkidiki, we will go to, pardon my language, middle finger called Sithonia to find the region's only PDO, called Slopes of Meliton. Under that PDO, we have a white wine that is a blend of Rhoditis, Athiri, and Assyrtiko, while the red blend allowed is a bit more international, coupling Cabernet Franc and Cabernet Sauvignon with Lignon. Also, we have to mention Malagousia, which it's not a part of the PDO, but this is the first region where the first commercial Malagousia was ever produced. The easternmost peninsula of Halkidiki is called Mount Athos. We Greeks call it Agio Oros, the Holy Mountain. Maybe you're not familiar with this, but Mount Athos is almost a nation within Greece because it's completely dedicated to monasteries and monks are the only true governors. Unfortunately, about 50% of you will never be to Mount Athos because women are not allowed. Despite that, it's an amazing place because the interplay through centuries of nature, vine, wine and spirituality have been creating a breathtaking cosmos. Even if you never have the chance to visit Mount Athos, for sure you will get the chance to taste the amazing wines of this land. Many different styles. I will single out the full-bodied Cabernet Sauvignon and the more linear, slightly more uplifted Lignos. Moving towards the eastern side of Central Macedonia, we have Ceres, a tiny number of producers, but really top quality, and two lovely local, and we're talking about micro-local grape varieties. Aspruda of Ceres, full throttle, really chin-up style of whites, and Konyaros, a very complex red. Across the pond from Thessaloniki, we have Pieria, and there must be something in the water, because we have small producers, but all of them are 10 out of 10. They are producing several grape varieties. I will choose Syrah, well polished, full flavor, and buy some Pieria Syrah, keep it in your cellar for 5 years, and then thank me. Moving on to discuss the other parts of Central Macedonia and Western Macedonia, we are entering Xinomavro land big time. It's Xinomavro, not Xinomavro, and it's a charismatic red grape variety, and it's the king of Central and Western Macedonia. Xinomavro is a highly individual grape variety that most wine drinkers develop a love or hate relationship with this. I love it because Xinomavro pushes you to go beyond the obvious. If you like Barolos, if you like Barbarescos, Xinomavro is the grape variety for you. But it's not sexy. Why? Really pale color that goes into brown really quickly. Doesn't smell like jam, smells like rose petals, leathery, sometimes like sun-dried tomato. On the palate is full of tannin and full of acidity that cry out for some lamb chops. So someone would say, why drink Xinomavro after all, if this is the style? Because Xinomavro is great. It can be very complex, it's one of the most food-friendly grapes out there, and aging ability, just forget it. Easily the longest of all Greek red grape varieties, and I think it would beat down a huge number of the French ones. The grandeur of Xinomavro is acknowledged by the Greek wine legislation by accounting for 4 PDOs, either exclusively or non-exclusively to Xinomavro. The first PDO we will cover is Naousa, which is the PDO that most people associate with Xinomavro, a fantastic appellation with a lot of tiny producers. Xinomavro is really at home there. Different crus expressing Xinomavro in different ways, and wines that are top quality. And if we talk about price tags, well, if these wines were coming from Italy or France, we would have at least an extra 0 in their price tags. Moving towards the northeast, we have Kilkis, and in there, PDO Menisa, another PDO that is including Xinomavro, but Negoska, another grape, has to be at least 20% of the blend. Negoska is brought in to give a bit more fruit to the nose and round off the edges of Xinomavro. The top Umenisas are clearly up there with the top Nausas. Moving to Western Macedonia, we have the PDO of Aminteo in the region of Florina. PDO Aminteo is the coolest appellation of Greece, and believe me, it's cool by any standards. It's an appellation completely dedicated to Xinomavro, but the coolness of climate brings out different characters of this amazing grape variety. Of course, Xinomavro and Aminteo can produce the hallmark tooth and nail reds, but at the same time you can have excellent rosés that can be either still or sparkling, so you have a slightly more ethereal side of this amazing grape variety. It is logical to have a medial appellation in the spotlight for Western Macedonia, but you can have all sort of tiny, lesser-known treasures even within Florina and Aminteo or in other parts of Western Macedonia. So in Florina, you can have great Syrahs, great Merlots, great Malagousias. You can have excellent producers in Kastoria or in Yanitsa. You go to Velvedos, where you have Tsapournakos, which is a Greek brother or sister of Cabernet Franc, or you have Siatista with very muscaty Moschomavros or relatively elegant Xinomavros. And then, going back to Central Macedonia, you have Pella, where the Rhoditis there can give excellent wines. This is a wrap for the 3rd episode of eGREEKwine, a video series from the Greek Wine Federation. I have absolutely no idea where we're going over to the next episode, but I have another great idea. Stay home, drink Greek wine, always in moderation, stay safe.